Hey guys, it's Melissa. Happy Wednesday. Today I'm going to show you how to make metallic custom stickers. So metallic stickers can be a little bit tricky. As you can see, there's lots of glare, lots of shine that you get on metallic stickers, but they also come out really, really cool. So you can make, this is printable metallic sticker material. It's from Online Labels, so you can grab it. But these stickers come out really cool, but they can be a little bit of a struggle. So I'm going to show you some tips on how to actually be able to print and cut with them, okay? So first things first, these designs, all these designs, they all say the same thing. I just did them a little bit differently. So what you can see is these designs are actually from So Fancy's round sign bundle, which right now until today, you can get an extra 15% off with the code that I put up there. The code is just round, and the link's up top. But what I did is, obviously we're not using these for round signs, but that's what I want you to think outside the box. You can use designs for lots of different ways. So I just pulled this design into Silhouette Studio, changed the color of that part that says humankind, and then for this one, I used an offset to get that that look there, the contour cut. And then this one I just put a circle around, okay? All right, so first things first, how do you print them? Okay, so we have the metallic sheet. Again, this is from Online Labels. And what you wanna do with, this is inkjet, okay? So it's very important that you make sure you have the type of paper that is going to work with your printer. So if you have a laser printer, get the laser printer version. If you have an inkjet, make sure you get the inkjet, because otherwise the ink is never gonna dry. It already takes a little bit longer for the ink to dry on this anyway, because it doesn't absorb like a paper would. But you want to make sure that you definitely want to make sure that you have the one that works for your printer. Okay, the other thing, way down here a little bit, you want to make sure that your printer tray is completely empty. Okay, so I have nothing else. I've taken everything else out of my printer, and we're just going to place this one sheet in the printer. All right. Okay, and then on Silhouette Studio, you want to check your settings. So I always check that I am using this glossy paper. All right, that'll help the printer know how fast to print, because if you have glossy paper, it knows to print a little bit slower, so it gives the ink time to dry. And then you also want to make sure that you tell it best. The reason that you want best is it lays down more higher quality, or I should say, I guess, more ink, so that the print comes out at a higher resolution and a better quality. If I could talk to that, it would be helpful. All right, so then I'm just gonna click print, and this is going to print. It's obviously gonna print the registration marks with the stickers, okay? And then we're gonna cut. Oops, I have an alert that came up here. So the trick to cutting is all about the lighting. So I have lights on in this room. You can see there's shadows going on. I have obviously overhead lights, and then I also have 3 windows. When you are using a really glossy sticker material, whether it's clear, whether it's the gold foil, silver foil, sometimes even just the glossy white sticker paper is enough that glare has a really hard time with your silhouette. So you want to make sure that you cut all overhead lights, and if you have any shadows from your windows, try to close the blinds. It's almost better to have what you feel like is lower light than too much light causing shadows. So I'm going to pull you over, as soon as this is done printing, I'm going to pull you over to my silhouette, and we will, and I'm going to show you how I cut from there. So we'll turn off the lights. I may even pull out the top of the CAMEO cover to make sure that it can register correctly. Okay, so now it's printed. You want to wait a couple of minutes for this. I don't know if you can see, this ink is still a little bit wet, okay? So you want to make sure that you wait, because otherwise what's going to happen is your ink is going to smear, okay? And if you have smeared ink, what that's going to do, in this corner, for example, the ink smeared up here, this little teeny dot is actually what the machine registered, and look where it cut the circle, okay? So we wanna make sure to avoid that, all right? So this is the one we just printed. I printed one about, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes ago, so this one's dry, so we can use that one. And I'm gonna pull you around here so you can see what we're doing from here. Now, I need to move my computer over. Usually, I'm not terribly picky about the type of cutting mat that we use, but if you can use use a silhouette cutting mat rather than another brand for materials that are already a little finicky. I think that it just takes one more you know, potential problematic area out of the equation. So I'm using a silhouette cutting mat. This one's not terribly sticky, so I'm actually going to use some tape to make sure that I tape the sticker sheet down so that it stays and isn't moving around while we are printing. Okay, so first I'm gonna, well, I guess I'll turn off the lights. No, we don't need to turn off the lights yet. We'll turn off the lights in a few minutes before we get going. Okay, so this is the one that I told you is already pretty dry. So I'm tapping it, nothing is coming off of my hand. So I'm pretty confident with that. So even when I tried to use the brayer, it just wasn't, this material is kind of thick and stiff, so it's just not sticking on my mat. So I'm just gonna use washi tape and tape on all four sides to make sure that my sticker paper, I should have started this before I got on here. Just make sure that my sticker paper isn't moving around, okay? Now, those of you that are just joining, we are making foil stickers using printable sticker foil sheets. The sheets are from Online Labels. The designs are actually from the So Fancy round sign bundle, okay? So we're obviously not using them for a sign, but that's the great thing about designs. You can use them in so many different ways. So don't feel like, oh, I don't need a round sign bundle, I don't make signs. Well, maybe you make stickers. Okay, and then you can obviously customize them. The SVG came in and everything was black. I just changed some of the colors right in Silhouette Studio, and now I'm just taping this down here so that it stays secure while it's printing and cutting. Okay, this is how they will come out when we're done. All right, okay, so some are gonna be circles, and some I used an offset so that we can die cut. Okay, I have some things behind here. We want to get rid of that. I'll just throw it on the floor. Okay, we'll load this in. Okay. And before I start cutting, I'm going to cut the lights. I'm going to turn the overhead lights on, because what you can see, hopefully here, is that there's a lot of glare going on. That is just going to cause us problems. So if I turn the overhead lights off, it cuts some of that glare. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this lid out just a little bit, enough that like you can kind of see the shadow line here. Right? That is at least covering where the registration mark is and where this carriage is. You might actually want to close the entire thing, but for now we'll try to do it like that. All right, so then from Silhouette Studio, I am just using a blade depth of 2, force of 14, and a speed of 4. So let's cross our fingers and hope that these registration marks register on the first try. Usually if that first one registers, that top left, you're in good shape. So let's see. We have our paper, which is kind of thick and a little bit more rigid. We're using tape to hold it down so that nothing is moving around. We have the lid of the Cameo pulled out a little bit which I could probably put it back in now, to make sure that on this glossy foil high, glare paper, that we're not getting any issues with the registration marks. We waited until this was dry before we started printing. I waited, like I said, about 10 or 15 minutes. You just don't want it smearing, because smearing is going to obviously make it so that your stickers aren't what they should be, but it can put areas like up here, it can put areas of ink in the area of the registration marks, which can confuse your cutter, okay? So when these are done, we'll be able to pull those stickers off, and we'll have made custom foil stickers. That one looks like it's off a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna pull you back here while we're waiting for this. If you're looking for, if you're wondering why I'm dark, it's because I turned off all the overhead lights. I turned off all the lights in this room. So if you are, let's see, as I said, while we're waiting for this, as I said, these stickers, I put this cut line around them myself. This was one design I pulled in. You can turn anything, pretty much anything, into a sticker, okay? So you can just put a circle around it using the draw a circle tool. You can use the offset tool to create an offset. That's what I did for these that are contour cut. This was all completely done in Silhouette Studio, okay? Even the changing the colors of the design, okay? All right, so if you're interested in the round sign bundle or you just like this design, I linked to it. It's on So Fancy, like I said, in the round sign bundle, which you can get for an extra 15% off today using the code ROUND. Okay. All right, now our stickers are done. So let's pull this off of here. Oh, you can't really see what I'm doing, sorry. Okay. And there you go. So see how that came out? So, oh gosh, it's so glary that it's hard to see. All right. So I love that you could make this design into absolutely anything. It would be awesome as a design on a shirt. You could, you know, if you put the, like I said, put these in your planner, give these to your kids, remind them, put it on their lunchbox or their lunch bag to remind them to be a kind human. Can we all? I think we can all agree to be a little bit human and a little bit more kind, right? Or maybe be both. Anyway, all right, you guys, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day and picked up a couple of tips on how to print and cut with those tough print and cut materials that produce a lot of glare, but really produce a stunning result. All right, I'll see you later.